This is my second take. Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Catching Up with Kate podcast. Uh, I'm your host, Kate, and man, this is episode 21, I think, which one, we're able to remember the episode number now, which is fabulous. And then two, legal drinking age in America. Sorry, we entered the legal drinking age episode 18 over here. Yep. I actually don't think there's different drinking age things in Australia. Oh wait, what am I thinking of? I think America it's all 21 across the board, I think. Maybe. I might be wrong about that. Can't say I've looked it up, so don't know. Yeah, but it's 18 here. I think the age of consent varies from place to place too. I don't really know why. I don't know why we don't have like an across the board like number. Actually, you know what's interesting? I'm pretty sure that the age of consent for anal is younger than vaginal. Yeah, so you're welcome. A minute into the video. Yeah, that's the tea, I guess. That's the motherfucking tea. And we can swear here because we're not monetized, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so you may have noticed that the video title is something along the lines of domestic violence, but make it cute. Anyway, I'm not trying to make it cute. I'm actually trying to bring awareness to things. As you might have heard if you're on the internet, or you might not have if you're fortunate enough, but I hear about whatever is going on in the world of celebrity or like TV, movies. You know, if you're going to have a movie come out, there's going to be drama about it. I think this is my suspicion. It was my suspicion from the start. However, my thoughts have shifted, but I thought there's this new movie that's come out. It's in cinemas right now. It's called It Ends With Us by Blake Lively and nobody else. Nobody else worked on it, just Blake Lively. She did everything. Yeah, so this movie that's come out is about domestic violence, domestic abuse. I don't actually know if there's a difference between them, but we're going to use them interchangeably here because I think they're the same thing, I think. But could be wrong about that, so we might figure it out later. Um, in other news, this is still the introduction, so me, catching up with me. You want to hear about me? Maybe, maybe not. Um, let's see. What news do I have? Oh gosh, I don't actually have any news, I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty chill at the moment. I'm not going through anything. I did make a joke last episode. There's something always going on with this bitch. I'm happy to report that today, nothing is going on with this bitch. So, it's a happy difference, I guess. Oh, actually, you know what? You might have noticed that we're back on the couch. And that's because the kitchen table, I'm staring at it right now, is full of stuff. Full of junk that my roommates have put on there. And I refuse to clean up after them. So, anyway. Yeah, so if you miss the kitchen table episodes, shout out down below, let me know, and then I'll show it to my roommates, and then maybe that'll get them to clean up their act. Ugh, God. Anyway, actually, to be honest, I was kind of missing the couch a little bit. I was like, damn, I used to get so many views on the couch, man. I don't think the couch has anything to do with that though. So, anyway, yeah. So we could just get right into it and go, yo, 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 check it out. So, there's been this whole press tour about this movie coming out. I hadn't heard anything about it except when I went to go see A Quiet Place and they had a trailer for it in the theater, and I was like, my initial reaction was like, oh, Blake Lively's in a new movie, cool. The last movie I saw that she was in that was fairly recent, I guess, was The Age of Adeline. Um, or Adeline, I think. I'm not really sure. What, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't fucking know. Age of Adeline. Adeline. It's probably Adeline, to be honest. And I thought it was a nice movie. It was a nice movie to watch. I think I watched it at home because it was on Netflix or something. And yeah, it had a what's that guy? Harrison Ford. It had Harrison Ford in it for like 5 minutes. He wasn't too bad. Um, I liked the movie. I thought it was kind of cool. It felt very Blake Lively though, which I mean is kind of like she's not like a God. I want to say she doesn't feel like some other actors. Blake Lively feels like she plays Blake Lively. She's one of those actors, which is all well and good. It's fine. I enjoyed her very much in Gossip Girl. She was my favorite. I loved her. So I was a fan of her for a long time. In the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants or something, I think that's what it was called. She was really good in that. I really liked her character in that one too. I think I related a little bit to her in that one. A little bit. Um yeah, so when I heard that she was in a new movie, I was like, "Oh, cool." So then I'm sitting in the theater with Caleb watching the trailer, and then I'm like, this is a little bit interesting because it's like sort of made to be like a romantic, like, "Ah, I just opened a flower shop. Oh my god, I've got my career ahead of me. It's so wonderful. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm in New York and I've got a flower shop. I think it's in New York. I don't know." And then there's like a romance love interest, and I'm like watching the trailer, like, okay, where is this going? Is this like you have a flower shop, you have a dude, you have to pick between two guys or something? And then it's like, oh, oh, he's violent. Ah. And then I'm like, okay, it ends with us. I'm getting the picture. It's about cycle breaking and all that shit. Okay. Kind of like I want to say that it's a very today era type of thing. And what I mean by that is that like we're all about cycle breaking today. In 2024, we are about changing our lives and not repeating the same shit that like our parents went through and made us go through in turn. Yippee. So I was kind of intrigued, but I was also a little bit like, Blake Lively? I mean, I guess she could kind of do like emotional characters, I guess, but in saying that, I'm not the type of person to watch interviews for movies, like the whole press tour, the junkets or whatever that's what they call them, because they're frankly not very interesting. And I do not care that much to watch them. Now, I had a friend in high school who watched every single, what was it, Bring Me the Horizon, or like, who's that guy, Andy Biersack? Dude, she watched the shit out of every single press thing that they did. Everything. She watched every single one. And so I know there are people out there who really enjoy those things, and I think that's fine. I think that that must be really good entertainment for you, which is like, love that. I love that. That's awesome. I guess I used to watch the what's the TV show Supernatural? I used to watch the Supernatural ones, kind of. I'd watch like clips, but still, I could never get into it that much. I think for me, when I watch these or see clips of these press tours or these junkets, it's like it's not very natural and it's not very relatable either. It's actually very, it feels quite like self suck. You know what I'm saying? It's like, of course, they're not going to say anything bad about the project they're working on that's about to be released. No, they're not going to say anything bad. And I guess that's a good. Well, it's not a good thing actually. I think it just feels very like. How did you feel getting into the role of Miss Marmalade? Well, I had to eat a lot of marmalade to get into the role of Miss Marmalade. It's like, oh God, be so fucking for real. I don't give a fuck. Holy shit. And that could just be me. That could just be me having my opinions about these things because, uh, But to me, it just comes off as pretentious. It just comes off as weird. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, the interviewers do not ask interesting questions. And I think we're gonna see those themes a little bit here when we are going through some of the videos. That I don't think this is all entirely a Blake Lively being like a bitch type thing. I have to say right out of the gate, I do not like the way that the conversation has shifted from like uh criticizing her response to the movie, because another thing that I have to say is that her co-star Jason Baldoni, the guy who plays the domestic abuser, I think, he does. I'm not wrong about that. He's had such a good media presence addressing the domestic violence themes of the movie, and a lot of the explosive anger towards Blake has been just the sheer uh, difference in response that these two actors have had. Blake Lively instead chose to make the movie's press tour about launching her own hair care brand, and I think that's where things started off with all the hate towards her, which super fair, super fair. I think that if you're going to make a movie about domestic violence and breaking those patterns, I absolutely think that the last thing you should be thinking of is how to launch your brand in conjunction with that movie. God, it's not good. It's not good. But, I mean, go off, Queen, I guess. Anyway, we're gonna go through it a lot more and be like, that doesn't look right. And again, I just want to continue on with what I was saying just then. I don't like the way that things have gone with the conversation. I think the conversation has turned into one where it's very much like picking apart everything from what she's done. So now people are taking scenes from Gossip Girl and being like, "Oh, look at Blake here. She was doing yada yada yada. This just proves that she's always been a terrible person and stuff." I will say she does give off the vibes that she's very out of touch. She's very probably into herself a little bit, and the way she approached acting as this character in this movie, she did a terrible job. So, yeah, we're going to go through all of that and talk about the themes of domestic violence, which is obviously not going to be very fun for a lot of people. It's not meant to be fun, it's meant to be serious. So, yeah, trigger warning to anyone who is triggered by that stuff. And I just want to say right at the gate that I have personal experience with people who have gone through domestic violence situations. I've had to help people get out of their situations, and so I have a little. I'm not going to say I have first-hand experience because I don't. I just have a personal connection to this issue, and it's very serious and it's very sad. And I think one of the hardest things about knowing someone who you're close to is going through this, the hardest thing is knowing that you can't really do anything about it until they come to you about it. I remember like ages ago I was looking up like online like what do I do? How do I help this person? And yeah, I'll be sending links down below. Links to hotlines, helplines, guide pamphlets and stuff, because that's what I looked at. Because yeah, this is very hard. Very hard things in life. As a victim and as someone who wants to help a victim. Anyway, so yeah, take that for what you will. If you're triggered and you don't want to see this kind of stuff, then I would say watch one of my other videos then. Don't go away, just watch one of my other videos. Actually, if you want to laugh potentially, you might want to watch my latest edited video. It's very gaming related, but I had nowhere else to put it, so. Alright, so for the first thing that we're gonna watch, Hmm. We could watch the Justin Baldoni response because some people have criticized the movie and said that it glorifies domestic violence. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't speak on that, but I think he has a very good response to it, so that's why we're gonna watch it. Okay? Okay. Alright, let's go. Let's open the video. Dude, TikTok on the web browser has been fucking with me lately. And by lately, I mean today. Can you stop? Can you. Okay, what was I looking up? Can you eat seeds grown inside. Can eaten seeds grow inside you? Oh my god. I can't believe I was looking that up. Firefox is slowing us down. Okay, never mind. I guess I'll go fuck myself then. Hey. Sorry, minor technical difficulties here. We are the best podcast on the road. We are a one woman show, so please keep in mind that I'm doing everything by myself. Dude, I'm taking the timestamps, I'm opening the web pages, I'm doing the troubleshooting, I'm doing the talking as well, I guess. So yeah, it's a lot. That's okay. Alright, here we go. Does it work now? Okay, so this is Justin Baldoni's response. And I'm gonna put the mic away so you don't have to listen to me listen to it. Okay.
I think that they are absolutely entitled to that opinion, and it makes perfect sense as to why they would feel that way. I mean, look, we live in a culture where, unfortunately, too many things are glorified. And, we are fighting for attention. We're in an attention economy, and we're in a clickbait world, and everybody is trying to, figure out how to gather attention. Look at the news cycle; it's everywhere around us. And so it makes perfect sense that people would feel that way. Also, if anybody has had that real life experience, I can imagine how hard it would be to imagine their experience being in a romance novel. To them, I would just offer that that we were very intentional in the making of this movie.
Okay, I love his response. He seems like very thoughtful. He seems to have really dug deep on like the movie and like his intentions with it. He plays the abuser in the movie, but he's also the director. This was his project, and there's been a lot of controversy between him and Blake because people have been saying that Blake overtook the project. Like she kind of yeah, because there was another there was another clip where he was like, "I think Blake's ready to produce." Oh my god. I can't believe it. So there's a lot of layers here that we're trying to peel off of the onion. And so then we have there's a second guy, right? Because she has to choose. I think she has to choose between like the good guy and the bad guy, or this guy's the bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They definitely had chemistry, so that definitely means they tried to do stuff in the movie. So we're gonna look at the second one, which is with the second guy, and the consensus here, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a hard watch. If you like Blake Lively and you see this, it's a hard watch. It really is. So yeah, we have the it ends with us chemistry, where the interviewer is asking about the chemistry between this guy Atlas. What kind of a name is that? I don't know, but that's the question, I guess. So here we go.
The chemistry between Lily and Atlas, it's fireworks. It's undeniable. What made it so easy to fall in love on screen?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, we didn't really talk
You
about
could
it.
tell her.
I mean, I could tell you it's.
You could say like really nice things.
I'm just
about
a
you.
really good actor, you know? I'm a really good actor. Everything was really challenging with Blake.
He had a mirror. It was
Yeah.
weird. It was the
Yeah.
off camera was instead of.
I find it way easier to look at myself when I'm acting. No, we honestly just got really lucky, you know. We didn't really even talk about it all that much. We just fell into it and it worked. I think it's you're lucky when you have that as an actor. We just kind of click with someone on a certain frequency, and and you're present with one another, and you trust them and they trust you, and it's this kind of beautiful syncopation. So yeah, I think she's got really lucky.
All right, so that was also another interesting interview where, look, I know reading into people's body language is kind of cringe. It's also kind of like not the most accurate thing, I guess, but when you think about like the language that he's using, where like she's like, "Oh, you could say really nice things about me," and he's like, "It was really challenging with Blake." It's like he's saying it, you know? And then she's like asking for compliments and he's basically just ignoring her. Like, it's hard to listen to. It really is. So, we're already getting an idea that a lot of people are not happy working with her. And now I want to find that Jason. No, it's Justin Baldoni. Oh my god. Jason, Justin. It's the same name in my head, I think. So, yeah, Fuck, I almost just did it again. Wait, Justin Baldoni is rail support. Wait. No friggin' way. Oh, yeah. Another thing. He, like, posted. Okay. His description for his Instagram and his TikTok, and I'm sure all of his social medias, has if you know someone, or you know someone who is experiencing domestic violence, help is available, and he links to all of, like, the resources for it. Blake Lively did not do that. She only just now, like I think today, posted on her Instagram story about helplines. Can you believe it? A story which lasts for 24 hours, which is meant to be fleeting, it's meant to be temporary. The bitch couldn't put it in her fucking bio. And look, you might even think, like, oh, well, it's kind of silly to, like, you think you're changing the world by putting something in your bio? I think you're going to help at least someone. I think. I think that these things do matter. And, you know, I saw a video. I saw a video of someone being like, these things matter because they were in a doctor's office. I think they worked in a doctor's office or something. And in every single stall for the women's bathroom, they had these posters up of, help, you can get help or something. And they had these like rip off paper tabs for like phone numbers for like helplines. Every single one had every single tab taken off. And I just thought that was such a powerful visual for like how rampant this stuff kind of is. And I want to say it happens to men too. It's definitely not just a woman thing. It happens to men as well. And we're not going to get into a whole like this versus that debate. I'm just saying that it's a very it's just a very rampant topic. And I think since COVID, now more than ever, the numbers are way higher than they ever used to be. Maybe. Or maybe it's just getting reported more. I don't know. But then you could also argue that if it's getting reported more, it probably just means that people are gaining more awareness about these things. And people are starting to understand what it really means to be like, oh yeah, actually I am getting abused, Instead of thinking that they're not, they're realizing that they are. So I think that awareness that is being brought to everybody is a very positive thing. So I think that Justin is doing the right thing. Yeah. Although if he defends Israel, oh my god. Oh my god. Does he really? Wait, hold on. I need to look at this. Justin Baldoni Israel 2020. Celebrities who are Israel sympathizing. Okay, I mean, really? Cristiano Ronaldo does too? Alright, we're not going to get into this right now, but apparently that's a thing as well, so. Dun dun dun. Alright, what is this? Alright, so now this is a video interview, and this was posted on the 10th of August, so it's the 19th at the moment. If this is the video I think it is, oh my god. Anyway, I'm all for watching more videos of him interviewing because he does give a lot of insight to things, and we will return to Blake in a second, but I think we need more context before then. So let's have a look.
This is your night, mister.
No, this isn't my night. This is a night for all the women who we made this movie
Love
for.
that.
This is a night for Blake. This is a night for Colleen. I'm just so grateful that we're here. 5 years in the making. When you love something so much, and when you're touched and moved by something, like as deeply as I was by this book, it just kind of comes naturally. Yes, this is a movie about love and hope, but that we don't shy away from the issue. What comes to mind isn't so much about the work that went into it, but about the why behind it. If a Lily Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than was made for her, maybe she sees herself on that screen and chooses something different for herself, that's why I made the movie.
Okay, a very thoughtful response, I believe. Yeah, wow, oh my god. So just hold on, let me write down Justin interview. He has a very thoughtful response, as usual. I thought this was going to be the one where he was talking about Blake Lively, but it's not, so sorry about that. Okay, so they do say that the movie is about hope and things going differently, and this is one of my criticisms of it, and I can tell you why in a second, but I will show you one other clip before I get into my point of view about the themes of hope in this movie and how I think it could be a little bit damaging. I don't think it's glorification. I think it sends somewhat the wrong message in a way, and I'll let you have a look at this clip.
I want a divorce.
Which... Wait. Oh shit, she wants a divorce. Wait, what? Alright, I'll let us watch it and we'll see. This is from the movie theater, so I hope this is okay. I think it is. It's just like a clip.
I want a divorce.
Hey. Let's not.
Hey, yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's not for you or me, it's for her. Yeah. You know? Look
It's a
at her.
baby!
What if one day she came to you and said, my boyfriend hit me, what would you say to her? Or if she said, Daddy, my husband pushed me down the stairs, but he said it was an accident, so it's fine. If she said her husband held her down and she begged him to stop, but he swore he'd never do it again, what would you tell her? The person she loved
It's pretty sad.
was hurting her. What would you say to her?
I would beg her to leave him.
Yeah.
And I'd beg her never to go back.
Whoa, yeah, it's pretty heavy, huh? Yeah, and that's okay. That my mind changes a little bit what rewatching that back. Yeah, because look, I think that the movie is trying to send you a message about something, and I think this portrayal of them in the hospital room with the baby, she's like, I want a divorce. He takes it all very calmly, and I think that in a real life situation, I do not think it would play out this way. I do not think that the person would change like that. And you know what's really annoying is that there's this idea that, like, oh, guys don't understand treating women like objects is like bad until they have a daughter, and then they're like, oh shit, dude, that's wrong. What the fuck? They start thinking about everything in terms of their daughter and what their daughter would go through. And they're kind of doing that here where it's like, wait, throwing your wife down the stairs is bad? Because that could be my daughter? she's somebody's daughter? What the fuck? I was like, yeah, dude. I hate that. I hate that, but it does happen to a lot of people where they do not realize these things until something like that happens, and it's like, it really took you that fucking long? Yeah. Anyway, and not much to my surprise, all the comments on this are like, no way would I have this convo while he was holding my baby. Things got violent. As you know, this person can get violent. You want them to be holding your newborn baby while that's happening? And, some people say, like, oh, well, they're at a hospital, they're at a public place. He's just like, you know, he's just being like courteous in a public setting, because when you're an abuser, I guess you wouldn't want people to see you doing that. You'd want to hide it or something. Oh my god. Like, everything about this scene is just so, like, I get it. She's trying to tell the men in the audience, like, what if this was your daughter? What if that woman that you're hurting was your daughter? Oh, okay, I guess that makes it bad now, not the fact that you're hurting a human being. Like, it's pretty much a direct message to the audience. Love that, I guess. And yeah, I just hope that someone who's in a real situation like this doesn't see this scene. Oh, I hope someone doesn't see this scene and go, oh, I'm gonna go do that right now with my partner. Because these situations do not pan out this way in real life, where the guy goes, yeah, let's get a divorce. And while we're at it, I'm gonna go to therapy. I'm gonna change myself. Like, these conversations do not happen like this in real life, and it's sad because it should, because that's the right way for things to go. It should. It should end up better. But unfortunately, what it is about these situations is that people who are abusers like this, they've been raised their whole life pretty much in this way. They probably experienced it themselves through their parents modeling this behavior. And, like, of course I think people can change. Of course I do. I absolutely think that. I believe that. I don't know what kind of world I'd want to live in if I didn't believe people could change. That being said, you have to think about your own safety when it comes down to this kind of stuff, and often that means just up and leaving in a covert manner. And, it's not your job to make this person change or see the error of their ways. It's not your job. And quite often, they won't listen to you anyway, because if they believe that they're okay in hitting you or attacking you physically, verbally, they're not going to give a shit about what you have to say, because they already don't see you as anything but their human punching bag. And that's a really vulgar way to say it, I think, but that is the reality of it. And it sucks. It sucks. It really does. And I just want people to understand that, like, this scene in this movie is not realistic. And I'm sure, like, yeah, it's a movie. Of course it's not realistic. But I don't want people to go and think that they can just go around and do this. Because leaving is always the most dangerous. Threatening to leaving, it is the most dangerous thing that you can do. And that's why you just need to... Well, look, I'm not going to give anyone specific advice, but I'm just saying from, like, what I've seen from experience is that you just have to leave. And you just have to do it in a manner that doesn't announce yourself, So that's... Oh, shit. That's all I'm saying about that. But I also understand it's a movie and it's trying to instill hope. Oh god, sorry, I'm fucking with my camera angle. Whatever. It's trying to instill hope in people, and I appreciate that aspect of it. Yeah, I appreciate the aspect of hope and stuff. I just think that it's not realistic at all, and I think that Yeah, I mean, it gets more complicated when you have a kid with someone, so it's like it's so infinitely more complicated because when you have a kid with someone, you're basically tied to them for life. But yeah, yeah, everyone else like these conversations don't go like this. These conversations don't go like this. They end in violence. Ugh. Hmm. Why is she smiling while saying all this? I do think Blake's acting direction in this scene was a little bit like, yeah, okay. Yeah, with the right actress, this could have been like a lot better. I just don't think Blake Lively was. I understand the smiling aspect of it is like you're like smiling like you don't get it, you know? I understand it, but it's a very like, hmm, how do I explain it? It's like when you're watching Shameless and Emmy Rossum is like laughing and crying at the same time. It's because you're watching someone who has been so beaten down so much in life have one thing after another. And when she finally finds something that's right for her, she and that person just says something that's just like, I never thought you would say something like that, but now you've shown me who you are. And so she's just like, yeah, I'm an idiot type of thing. I'm like explaining something so off topic, but Shameless, you people who watch Shameless, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But I have to say though, like with all this coming to a thing, I would like to see Blake Lively promoting her shit. Blake Lively. Hmm. Blake Lively hair brand. There was like a interview she was doing where she was like, "Oh, you can be Blake Brown or something." What is this?
Welcome back, Queen Serena.
No, it's not that. She's like doing a bunch of people's hair during interviews. Target. God damn it, it's nothing. Blake Lively revealed how she named her hair care brand. What? Brown Beauty. Blake Brown Beauty. BBB. Okay. Blake Blake Lively hair brand interview maybe. Anyway, I'm just gonna say she tried to like sell her hair care brand during an interview apparently, so that's kind of what started off all this drums and stuff. Ooh, this one. This one's. Oh no, that's not the interview though. Oh god, it's someone talking about it. What if we just did Blake Lively interview? Let's let the Queen speak for herself, maybe. You know, enough about me. Enough about Justin, Jason, whatever his name is. What's this? Oh, yeah, so there was this other interview. Dude, there are so many interviews with her just being rude to people and just genuinely being, like, unlikable in how she portrays herself that I don't even need to say anything else after this. Holy moly. Okay, 38 minutes. Blake interview. Sorry, I'll write down my footnotes so that I can edit it better. Alright, let's listen.
Most of us, if we're lucky enough to run into a celebrity in public, we only have a few moments to maybe speak with you guys. But for people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people and they're going to want to tell you about their life. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could I'm just curious
Just
about
social security number.
I'm a Virgo, so I'm
Yeah.
like, are we talking logistics? Are we talking emotionally?
Okay, so hard watch as usual. Thanks, Blake. That was kind of cringe, but this is one of those circumstances where I think that was a really dumb interview question. Oh god, I think my cat just fell down the curtain. Okay. She's fine. You're fine, right? Okay. This is one of those things where it's like, Blake, if someone who really understood the themes of this movie wanted to have a really deep conversation with you when you're at the fucking coffee bean, how are they gonna go about that with you? Like, what kind of a fucking question is that? That's such a dumb question. I get that she was kind of like a, what's the term? She passive aggressive. She was a bit of like a, what do you call it? Like a know-it-all. It was a bit of a shitty answer. Look, a shitty answer for a shitty question. Let's be real. It's not a good question. So that's one of those videos where I was like, that's dumb. It's dumb. I'm sorry. It's dumb. And we're going to get into this other interview with this woman, Kjertsi Flaa. So, some context about this video. Kjertsi Flaa is a, I think she's like a very fashion-oriented interviewer. She's interested in fashion. I think she has some credentials in that world or something or other. And look, some extra tidbit about her is that she is infertile, apparently. So she is unable to have children. And this interview happened when Blake had just announced her being pregnant with her second baby with Ryan Reynolds, Mr. Deadpool. And so let's watch this interview. It's a hard watch, so get your goggles on. Get your goggles on.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
They are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you.
Are
You like the movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so like visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in
Everyone
digital.
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He has some
suits and
beautiful. That's what I'm saying. His wardrobe was beautiful.
I know.
Corey's
Everybody.
wardrobe
I
was
know.
gorgeous.
He's
Those
so great.
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I would wish men
And
wore
sorry,
high-waisted
too.
pants like
I
that
know.
still.
Me too.
Or the father with his tank top in bed.
It's so
Just
good.
like, it's just like
Did you
that.
catch
You could feel
the
it.
tablecloth on the light in the Italian
This goes
restaurant?
for
when
4
they eat
minutes.
spaghetti
I didn't
in
notice
it?
that. No.
But there's
So
so
I
much
feel like-
warmth of everything, you know.
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Vittorio-
get the conversation, but it's like
Yeah.
every detail with everybody.
But
Like,
yeah,
it's so,
it was
so
amazing
beautiful.
to look at.
Steve's
And then to see
white
it,
suits.
yes.
And then you notice in LA, like everybody's in cream colors, and all the men are wearing like white and cream. And then you get to New York, and it's a little bit more browns and moodier. And Susie really told such a story.
Yeah, amazing.
Alongside Vittorio, because it is a lot brighter and sunnier in
unedited.
LA, and New York has just a steaminess to it.
And I think the whole Hollywood glam is so glamorous and everything. Can you relate to the things they were saying about Hollywood? It's so easy to get seduced by the fame and the money and the glamour.
You see it all the time. That was one of my favorite things about the movie, were the subtle turns to their own transition into like the ego of showbiz that Kristen
Pretty
has in that
mid-question,
scene with
if I'm
Steve
being honest.
Carell, and then with Bobby taking on the persona of a club owner, but still like these are things you do when you're an adult.
Yeah.
When you have to work, you have
Yeah.
to. You play a part. You play at your life in a way that you find successful, or so it's a lot about choices, and then they carry this love, and it's just very
It's
grown
neat
up
to
and
see where they
warm.
came from, though, and see how authentic these people truly are and what good people they truly are, too.
Yeah.
Because it's what you would see from the outside of the cafe society.
I never
You
saw
could
this movie.
Dismiss each of their characters, but
Right.
to see what a heart and soul each of them have is nice, and it's something that that's the thing, as far as like relating to it personally, that you see, you have these ideas of people that you're fans of, and then you meet them and get to know them as a person, and oftentimes you're such a greater fan of them as a person than you are as the person that people feel like they know, and that's always. That's always nice and refreshing when you see that.
Yeah,
do you feel like, what do you feel like is the biggest misconceptions about fame and Hollywood in general?
Bad question. Bad question.
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you. So I think the biggest misconception I see often is people feeling like they know someone that they don't, because they know what the media has created of someone. And the disappointing thing is when you meet the people, they're always so much more awesome than they're portrayed
like
to
Woody
be.
Allen?
I mean, that's normally my experience. And even people that are portrayed to be really great people, they're just a lot more complicated and interesting and nuanced and caring and thoughtful. And that's always nice, you know, to see that your idea of someone isn't always who they actually are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's
guys.
the interview. Holy shit. So, first things first. Bad questions. Bad questions. Oh my god. It's all centered around like fame and Hollywood, which I'm gonna guess the movie is about that. But we must address the motherfucking nerdy ass elephant in the room. Woody Allen. Do you know what Woody Allen is in controversy for? Adopting a girl who was like 4 and then marrying her when she's like 18. If that's not called grooming, I guess I don't know what the fuck grooming is. I guess I'll just see myself out on that one. And so Blake Lively pulling the whole feminist card where it's like, oh well, I guess they wouldn't tell us the men about the costumes. I wonder if they do. And it's just such a passive-aggressive thing where she doesn't even address the interviewer when she's saying that. She addresses Parker Posey, the woman next to her. She's like, I wonder if they would do that. Like, they're having their own conversation. This is an interview. This is an interview. Hello. What improper etiquette. And to pull that card when working with someone like Woody Allen, who is a terrible, terrible person. Terrible. You're working with a fucking groomer slash pedophile, allegedly, maybe. Fuck you. And this is why I do not like Blake Lively. Forget, like, Gossip Girl, forget all the other stuff. She's working with a fucking predator. Right? And she's acting all high and mighty. Girl, lower that chin, look down, and fucking humble yourself, bitch. And this is coming from someone who used to love Blake Lively. Or at least I always loved her in like the roles she would play. Look, a lot of people are criticizing her and saying like, her hair is so bad. I liked her hair. I like her hair. I think her hair's cute. Anyway. Yeah, God. And so Kjersti's saying congrats on your bump. A lot of people say that when someone is pregnant because you get a baby bump. And Blake Lively right out off the gate is hostile. She goes, congrats on your little bump. When Kjersti is not pregnant. It's like one of those things where I feel like Blake in that moment is probably like, do not comment on my body. Just because I'm pregnant, do not comment on my body. And if that's like where she's coming from, I can kind of respect that actually. I feel like once you get pregnant, a lot of like social norms or like a lot of things get thrown out the window the moment you become pregnant. Everyone seems to think they're entitled to comment on like the way you look, touching your tummy, yada yada yada. It's like a very... So I don't know, maybe she has like a personal feeling about like the whole baby bump stuff and shit like that. But there is this other video. Oh my god. There's this other video where she's getting interviewed and she's like way more pregnant, so it was probably a few years ago. And oh my god, I did not like the way she acted in this one either. This one was really bad too. Oh god. Alright, we're gonna watch this one as well.
How's it going along? My wife's 7 months right.
Give me a second to write down. 50, sorry, we are a train wreck today. 50 minutes prego. I'll remember what that means. Alright. Let's watch this interview with Blake Lively from a few years ago.
How's it going along? My wife's 7 months right now, so I know what it's all like. The feet rubbing.
She's just taking advantage.
Is she?
Totally.
Oh, please say that.
not
No, Blake,
necessary.
please tell her.
You can exploit it if you want. But,
Every night. I'm rubbing feet every night, Blake.
You're a sucker.
Oh.
You can't fall for that stuff. Cravings, nah.
No?
No, we just lie.
You're good. You just.
It's the perfect way to get what you want all
Is
the
that-
time. If you want chocolate ice cream at midnight, you have a craving.
You're busting out pregnant women everywhere.
No, I'm teasing.
So no cravings, nothing? I'm feeling good?
Yeah, thanks.
We can't wait. Any cravings? How's it going?
Okay. So what I can see here is like maybe there is some sort of like joking energy and stuff, but to me, she does not make that clear enough for it to land as a joke for me. She kind of subtly says at the end like, "Oh, we're just joking." But it's very unclear if she means like, "Oh, we're just joking about like some stuff," or is she joking about the whole thing, or is it some sort of like meta joke about like pregnant women joking? I don't know. It's very unclear. And I think that I still agree with the criticism here where she's like, "Oh, you're having to rub your wife's feet every night. She's taking advantage of you. You can't be taken advantage of. She's lying. She's making it up." I don't like that energy. And she's all like, "I haven't had any cravings. I'm fine. I'm great. Thank you. I'm awesome." It's like this weird energy where it's like, so you're not having any issues, which you don't have to answer, right? You don't have to be all like, "Yeah, I'm getting up every morning and vomiting." You know, like that's her choice if she wants to just be like, "I'm okay." But to say, "I'm okay," and then be like, "Oh, other women, they're lying." It's like, "Oh, you speak for every woman?" I don't care if it's a motherfucking joke. It's a bad joke. I think what Blake tries to do is she's trying to copy her husband's interview style, and I just do not think that she has the comedy chops. I'm sorry. Sarcasm? I don't hear the sarcasm. Dry humor? I don't think it's there. Hold on.
Ice cream at midnight, you have a craving.
You're busting out pregnant women everywhere.
No, I'm teasing. No, I'm teasing. No, I'm teasing is different to no, I'm joking, right? No, I'm teasing is like, she was saying, "Oh, you're getting taken advantage of." No, I'm teasing is very different to, she's lying. I don't know.
So no cravings, nothing?
What? No cravings or nothing? Dude, she is so fucking lying. Look, I've never been pregnant before, but I've also never met a pregnant person who didn't have a craving. I'm sorry, but I think she's lying. And she has everything to gain from lying. I feel like she, as a celebrity, you know, you try to curate your image, you try to manufacture these things, and what better way to make you more elevated than everyone else than to not just be like, "I don't get cravings. I'm fine. My feet have been fine this entire pregnancy." Oh, okay, here we have a comment. "All pregnant women are different. I had 4. No cravings, felt great. Foot rubs and back rubs were unnecessary. Honestly, all women are different." Okay, we love that. We're getting some different comments in the comment section. I like that. But it does feel very dismissive to people who are going through the thing. I just think it was just a very poor taste joke. So, you know what? Maybe it's not as deep as I think it is. So, that's okay. I really want to find that Blake Lively interview. God. Oh, God, there was one. Oh, here it is. Maybe this is it.
So sorry that we're late. I'm late because my mom.
Oh no, it's not that one. Never mind. I know exactly what this one is, and it's not. No, shut up. No, it's not good. God, raw truth behind Okay, oh, let's have a look at this one too. This has really turned into the Let's Watch TikToks show, which I'm all here for. Blake 9 News. I think that's where it's from. Wow, so cool. 9 Honey. Okay, whatever.
So to me, it wasn't, I didn't look at any one thing in her life because I think she's so much more than this thing that happened to her. And yes, it can change the course of her life, but it doesn't define her. She defines herself. And that to me is really, really beautiful. She's not a victim and she's not a survivor. Well, she may be a victim and she may be a survivor. She's also multitudes. And I think that to not be defined by the men in her life, whether it be her father, whether it be this beautiful love that she has, or whether it be this toxic love that she has, she's never defined by the men in her life. And I think that that's a beautiful story for any gender and for any age. So yeah, it's so much more than, while that thing is very big and very potent and there's a lot of responsibility and care that needs to be handled with, so never to diminish that, but this movie is so much more than any one thing.
Okay, so... Okay, not a bad response, actually. She's just saying, like, you don't have to be defined as, like, a victim or a whatever. I guess that's cool. It's a little bit like, okay. So, I genuinely feel like right now, I'm looking for a clip that people keep referencing, and I'm not finding it, which makes me think, are people blowing things out of proportion? Let's have another look.
So a lot of survivors of generational trauma and domestic abuse are going to see this film. I'm curious, what is the message that you hope that they take away from it?
I think that you are so much, and not to minimize it anyway, but you're so much more than just a survivor or just a victim.
As
Well,
she
that
just
is
said.
a huge thing. You are a person of multitudes, and what someone has done to you doesn't define you. You define you, and what you have in you
She
and
just
what
said
you're
that.
capable of, and what you have done and are doing and will do is so much bigger than anything anyone else can do to you. And I think that is... that feels like it is so empowering and rooting and grounding, and I hope that people see that, because this is a story that covers domestic violence, but it's not about domestic violence, it's about this woman.
So the movie about domestic violence is apparently not about domestic violence, but it's about a woman who happens to go through domestic violence. I guess that's what I got from that one. Okay. Let's... Ooh, Justin Baldoni versus Blake Lively. It ends with us press.
What comes to mind isn't so much about the work that went into it, but about the why behind it. If a lily bloom...
Alright, he already said that. Oh, this is it. Okay, we're gonna watch... Hold on, we're gonna watch this. This is it. This is what I've been looking for. Or it's like one of the things I've been looking for. Hold on. 57 minutes. J versus B.
What comes to mind isn't so much about the work that went into it, but about the why behind it. If a lily bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than was made for her, maybe she sees herself on that screen and chooses something different for herself, that's why I made the movie.
What's your childhood dream? To wear Britney Spears' Versace dress.
The one thing you want people to take away from this project, what would you say?
Hope. And that everybody has the ability to end a cycle that they didn't ask for. We can all say it ends with us in our life.
Isn't she great?
Yes. What did you love about her?
I just love that she was just like an amalgamation of contradictions, yet it made perfect sense for her. So she's, she's incredibly strong and self-assured and knows who she is, yet she's vulnerable and she's tender and she gets lost. I love that she was, masculine and feminine. I love that she liked old things and then new shiny things, that she was very utility and practical, but sort of over the top and glamorous in other moments.
This is your night, mister?
No, this isn't my night. This is
All right,
a
we've already
night for
seen
all
this
the
part.
women who we made this movie for.
It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
The question that's always asked is, why did she stay? And that's the wrong question. What we need to be asking ourselves is, why do men harm?
Yes.
And that was the big thing for me. And what I've learned more and more and more of is these women who experience this every single day, there's real love there. There's charm, there's charisma, there's passion, there's this belief that they can be better.
Yeah.
And it's not so simple. So our friends that know more, I'm wearing their pin right now, they were the ones who really worked with me to help me make this film as truthful as possible and hopefully do justice to
I
all the
just
women
like
who
to-
experience this.
Yeah, then you're seeing her hair products and everything, and
I also had to protect Lily's character, as the movie simply won't work if you don't believe that she really loves him. The audience has to see in Ryle what Lily sees in her. And if we don't buy the relationship, if we don't buy that she's in love with him,
yeah,
the choice she makes at the end of the movie does not mean as much.
I really feel like we delivered a story that's emotional and it's fun and it's funny and it's painful and it's scary and it's tragic and it's inspiring, and that's what life is.
What was it like for you to read Lily's character for the first time, someone who's both a strong woman and a victim of domestic abuse, and how did you bring her to life?
Well, I think she's so much more than just a victim of domestic abuse. That's something that happened to her, but nothing any one person did to her can define her. And she's a woman of multitudes. She's an entrepreneur, a shop owner, an artist, a mother, a daughter, a friend, a sister,
What
a
kind of
lover.
answer is
She's
that?
all of these things. And so to get to play a woman who experiences so many things and all the colors of the human emotion was just such a gift.
yeah, okay. I'm starting to see a very stark contrast. Like, look, I guess that it's like kind of a video that's edited. They've edited his interview moments with her interview moments. They're not doing the press together, by the way, because they had a problem on set. Oh my god, there's so much more to this. This episode might go a lot longer than the last few. So there's this problem on set where apparently they had a kiss scene that I think he lingered too long or something, or there was a problem with the intimacy coordinators. So when you have a movie and you have like romance between characters, there's usually people who are trained professionals who coordinate those scenes. And I think that's to try and help maintain professionalism. You know what? I actually don't know too much about what intimacy coordinators even fucking do. So let's have a look. Intimacy maybe it's like help them portray a romantic scene and make it actually look romantic, you know? Instead of like fucking two people being like, oh, I guess we kiss now. Okay. Intimacy coordinator, sometimes called an intimacy director, is a member of a film or television crew who ensures the well-being of actors and who participate in sex scenes and other intimate scenes in cinema. Film and television production intimacy coordinators work closely with directors, movement directors, choreographers, and help plan out intimate scenes with the actors and crew members. Okay, so they try to make sure that all staff and actors are aware of the context of the intimacy as part of the story, communication about the intimacy so that they can make sure people feel safe if they need to report harassment. Actors continually consent to all scenes of intimacy. We have consent as a thing there. Yeah, and then all the previously agreed to choreography is what is portrayed. So no one's improvising a butt grab, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so we've got that. Yeah, so there was this problem where Blake Lively said that they had intimacy coordinators, and at some point she had to use herself as an intimacy coordinator. And she kind of alluded to the fact of like, oh, that's not how it should be, but that's what I had to do. Somehow like alluding to the intimacy coordinators not doing a good enough job or something. And so she actually demanded, allegedly, that Justin Baldoni be taken off of press full stop. And so what they did instead is they separated them during press tours, just so they could appease her, right? They had to appease Mrs. Lively. And I have to say, to have two leading romance characters and their actors are not together during press tours or whatever, yikes. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. Ugh, God. But yeah, it's like she's not really answering the question, is she? She's not answering the question. It's like, when you read the book, how did you feel? And she goes on this whole tangent about like, oh, you're so much more than a victim and yada yada yada. And it's like, yeah, we get that. We get that. Whatever, she's an entrepreneur. Okay. Blake Lively has the most hilarious reaction to this crisis interview. Anyway, a lot of people are saying, like, oh, you know, what I don't like about these conversations, and I'll talk more about it now, is that a lot of the conversation has shifted from criticizing her responses, which do not feel thought out. They don't feel, I'm sorry, they don't feel that, like, intellectual either. Is that a rude thing to say? I think that her whole thing, let's hold on, let's say discussing what watched. God, these notes are so bad. I just feel like her answers to all the questions are just not that good. You know, and I think that when we were seeing the Justin vs. Blake clips, I think they were both getting interesting questions. I think questioning her about, like, how she felt after reading the book and the character, it's kind of giving, like, I didn't complete the homework kind of answers. Like, yeah, she's all these things and she has all the colors of human emotions, which is a gift. And it's like, what are you fucking saying, dude? What are you saying, dude? She experiences emotions and she's not a robot. Fabulous. Whereas I felt like his answers were so well thought out and it felt so, like, genuine. And it's so hard these days to feel a genuineness from especially Hollywood people. It's really hard because I think since the inception of all, like, the social media stuff, celebrities aren't able to manufacture their image as much, and so when you come across someone who is just not that genuine, I feel like these days it's a lot easier to see than it used to be, and you can ascertain that feeling from so many different facets of themselves. So, i.e., Blake Lively just putting the domestic violence stuff on her Instagram story, you know, saying, get all your friends, wear your best florals, and go to the cinema. It's like, why does it have to become this whole, like, cultural moment? We all wore our best florals and went to the cinema. It's like, why is that a part of that? Why is that? What, I don't know. We're, like, making it into some, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's like she's promoting the movie, and Justin is discussing it. And I appreciate what he had to say, though, about, like, oh, you know, we had to make his character at least believable that she would like him. We can't just make him, like, a single flat villain. He's multifaceted himself. He, you know, he's got charm. He's got whatever the fuck. And we had to make it believable that she would fall in love with someone like that. And that often these things happen where you fall in love with someone, they seem perfect, and then it's only when you just start getting into the relationship longer is that they show these signs of, like, red flags and being abusive, and you're already hooked on them when you start seeing the negative stuff. Anyway, so in the movie, some other criticisms about the whole thing was that Blake Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, apparently also produced on this movie too. So let me look up Ryan. Yeah, I guess Ryan's getting in on this too. Ryan Reynolds, It Ends With Us. Why is he writing a scene in this movie that he has nothing to do with? Like, brother. Oh, okay, so he's doing an interview. This might be interesting. Oh, okay. 108. Ryan. Alright, okay, what is this?
Oh, God. This is cool. It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Let's dive in, shall we? I'm gonna get right to it.
It's a joke.
How do you explain that? The genetics? You have some sort of, like, low-angle squat routine to pop that region in that way?
Ryan?
Yep.
You want to take a break?
From Blake?
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's also kind of like, okay. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
Blake Lively reveals her husband, Ryan Reynolds, wrote a pivotal scene in her new movie, It Ends With Us.
The Gossip Girl alum and her famous hubs hit the red carpet for the New York City premiere of the film. Blake and crew braved the rainy night to celebrate together, with Rye Guy's Deadpool and Wolverine co-star Hugh Jackman also showing up to support the film. Blake stunned at the event in a multicolored Versace dress that Britney Spears fans found very familiar. That's because it's the same one the pop princess wore to a Versace runway show in 2002. Blake also notes the dress's history and says of Britney on her Instagram stories, "Today's mood, the ultimate queen who made us all want to sparkle and write and share our stories." As for Blake and Ryan, both have been busy on the publicity trail over the past few months, promoting Deadpool and Wolverine and It Ends With Us. The actress tells E! News at the premiere that they wouldn't have it any other way, and exclusively reveals her husband actually played a big role in the film. Spears fans found very familiar. That's because it's the same one the pop princess wore to a Versace runway show in 2002. Blake also notes the dress's history and says of Britney on...
Okay, the video like repeats itself. I don't know who... E! News? I'm sorry, E! News, you do better. Okay, so yeah, Ryan Reynolds apparently wrote one of the scenes in the movie. It's called the rooftop scene. And I think the rooftop scene was in the trailer sparsely or something. Let me see if I can find one. It Ends With Us. Rooftop. Ugh. Okay, rooftop scene.
What do you do for a living?
Neurosurgeon. Is that funny?
Jesus, you're serious.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Oh my God, please. I'm so sorry. No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You spent way too you spent way too much time in school to have me laughing like this. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. I thought you were a crypto bro.
You thought I was a crypto bro?
Yeah, no, I don't know, like a really expensive prostitute.
Well, I am expensive. You could forget about kissing on the mouth.
Oh.
Huh?
Why haven't I seen you before?
Well, mostly because I've never required brain surgery, but also because I don't live here, so.
So you just broke into my building?
I have a really nice view.
I do.
What is this scene? Okay, so apparently Ryan Reynolds wrote that scene or something, which is like... Okay. I thought you were a crypto bro. Sorry, what? I thought that scene was one where he threw a chair or something. Okay, look, it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of like... Whoa, I guess. I feel like this has been the most... episode ever. And I just wanted to give my take about it. And I feel like I have gone all over the board with this. Okay, so... Look, I mean... I guess like closing thoughts. I just want to say, I think that the conversation, guys, we need to be careful about how we're talking about this because it feels very misogynistic at the moment where people are comparing her to Justin, they're comparing her to Leighton Meester from Gossip Girl, they're comparing her to America Ferrera from Sisterhood of the Traveling... I was about to say pants. Like, all of these comparisons of like, oh, why is she selling hair care? Her hair looks dry and disgusting. Like, it's very uncomfy. I think we can take real criticisms and be like, look, she very obviously, in my opinion, didn't do any research. She's playing this role. She is just playing herself, but in the lens of someone who is a florist entrepreneur who just so happened to get into a bad relationship, based on what I've seen her say. It's just Blake Lively in an alternate universe. That's what I'm getting from it, and from what she's said. And look, I think it's very fair to criticize her and be like, she didn't respond very well at all. She just doesn't seem to really care about that aspect of the movie. And the movie is based off a book by Colleen Hoover, which I know an hour and 14 minutes into the video, I'm just now mentioning that. Look, the book is about the domestic pattern and trying to end patterns that we didn't ask for, just like Justin said. And wow, I think that he just said it. He said it so well, I think. And I was going into this feeling all like, oh, I don't like Justin that much. And coming into this, I didn't like Justin that much because people kept going like, Justin is such a saint. He's such a beauty. He doesn't. He deserves to have someone better than Blake Lively to play with. Like act with. He's such a gorgeous human being. Like, I hate when we have to tear someone down, we have to prop someone else up. It's always this thing where, like, if we're gonna hate someone, we have to like someone in conjunction. As if it's like some kind of like drama TV, There's always an enemy and there's always a villain, and there's always the hero or the angel. And I gotta say, watching those interviews from him, this is the first time I watched them. He's very well spoken about the whole thing, so I appreciate his thoughtfulness. And I think as a director, you have to have that thoughtfulness. You have to have that key understanding of like what you're basing it on, what's your mission, what's the goal here. And for Blake Lively to be ready to produce that whole thing that he said, let's look it up. I think she would have needed to do a lot more research than she has done. And to me, it is very clear that she hasn't really done a whole lot of research on the matter. I think that's very clear to me, and I don't know if everyone else is getting that vibe, but that's what I'm getting from it. My god. Blake Lively under fire for garbage answer to serious question. And she's giving the same answer to these questions, which is like, she says, oh, she's an amalgamation of emotions and thought, and she's so much more than what this or that is, these labels. Right, Justin Baldoni gave the shadiest answer when asked about directing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's like a few. Oh, yeah, someone apparently snapped like a picture of a video of them arguing on set together. And then Ryan Reynolds came out with a statement being like, God, I wish people could respect privacy of others. And they're like arguing in the middle of a street or something. And he's like, I wish people wouldn't post these things. And it's like, brother, they look like they're having a heated argument. Okay. Dodge questions. Okay, speaking of entertainment tonight, was discussing the potential of reclaiming his role as Ryle. Right. Ryle Kincaid is the abuser in the movie. Lily Bloom is Blake Lively's character. Oh yeah, so people are like, is there gonna be a sequel? And he's like, I think there are better people. This is his response. He said, I think there are better people for that, the sequel. I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think. Oh my god. Dude, if that's not the shadiest answer, I don't know what is. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, what else does that say to you? What else is it? Like, he literally called her out specifically. He didn't just say, like, oh, I think someone else could do a better job. He says, I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. And maybe she is. Maybe she is. Let's see. It Ends With Us drama. Is there any other videos we can watch? Oh, breaking down the It Ends With Us drama a week ago. Oh, this might be good. Look, I'm just trying to give you guys all the context and all the help because I feel like I've done a very convoluted job here. So if I can get a video that summarizes things better than me, then why am I here? Okay.
I work in the film industry and I'm absolutely obsessed with the It Ends With Us drama, and what nobody is talking about is how dynamic all of these positions of director, producer, the two actors, Colleen Hoover, it's very unprecedented. If you don't know what the drama is, basically Blake Lively, most of all of the cast, Colleen Hoover, they've all unfollowed Justin. None of them are doing press with Justin. And though Justin is playing one of the main characters in the movie, he's also the director of the film. A lot of people assume that something happened with Justin, but what's coming out is that Justin is promoting the movie as it is, which is about DV. It's a very heavy topic. It's what the book focuses on, whereas Blake and everybody else are promoting it like a rom-com, and that's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. Blake is like bringing in her husband and doing like funny comedic bits. Blake is like advertising her hair brand and talking about like wear your florals and bring your friends, but the movie is about DV. With that backstory, something that I find really interesting is that so Justin was brought on first as the director, and it was also his production company that like bought out the rights to the book. Like he is planning on making it. Okay, this is very important. So this is a passion project for Justin, and he ends up casting Blake Lively. And Blake Lively is obviously a very talented creative. She's a good director, she's a good producer, but she hasn't directed anything in particular. I think she only has like one producer credit, or maybe this is her first producer credit ever. Now this is the interesting part. What normally happens is if there is a production company that's making a movie and there's a director over here, the production company is going to hire the director that's giving them the vision that they want the movie to be. If that vision doesn't line up, they'll usually fire the director and bring somebody else on. But normally, if there's kind of like a differences in vision at the top, nobody else really feels that. The cast doesn't. Maybe we'll feel it on set, but nobody will feel that in promotion or marketing. What's so interesting about the dynamic of this specific movie is that the production company and who's producing it is Justin. But Blake came on and signed on in her contract that she also has to produce it. Okay? So now you have two separate visions. And then you have Colleen Hoover, who's the author, who also has very strong say. From what I understand, Blake and Justin started butting heads, and they're not just the director and somebody who's producing it, they're the main actors. They're in 90% of the movie, and Colleen Hoover sides with Blake, which is problematic because that creates, for kind of the first time that I've ever seen it, a dichotomy where like the person who bought the rights and is directing, and honestly I think that Justin did an amazing job and I think that he's in the right, but that's neither here nor there, is there's a super huge power shift where now, okay, the writer of the book and the producer are forcing their power over the person who bought the rights and the director. And they're also both in the movie together. And to make it weirder, the person whose production company is making it, who bought out the rights to the book, who's directing it, is playing somebody who is assaulting the main character. Because of the power struggle of Blake and Colleen, I'm assuming trying to like rewrite a lot of scenes and trying to like kind of show more power, and maybe Blake is like trying to like get the directing credit over Justin. Honestly, you've seen this in movies before, and it's just such a bummer because normally people have like a lot of respect for the positions that you're hired for, and it just sounded like they didn't respect Justin's vision. And the way to like have that not have happened in the first place is Colleen shouldn't have sold the rights to Justin. Blake could have bought them. Blake could have been hired on as the director, but instead she hired on Justin. He started making the movie, and they just tried to take it
Wow,
from him.
okay, so that is an interesting take on it. I didn't see that sort of perspective. Huh. Why would the writer side with Blake Lively over the director, though? That's a very interesting wrinkle in the whole thing to me, because the writer is the person who wrote the source material, so at some point she thought, oh, Blake's got a better idea of this than Justin, I think. I don't know how true that is. I think this woman's speculating, which is like, fair. That's like her take on the whole thing. Fair enough. It's interesting. I can see them wanting to side with Blake because she's just more like popular, I guess. Dude, I had no idea who Justin Baldoni was until this movie. So it's gonna be great for his image, but yeah. Anyway, I guess there's like so many things about it. And look, I know I'm gonna like title it something like domestic violence, but make it cute. I see it like with the whole Blake and then Ryan Reynolds. Sorry, coming in for like an interview with Atlas or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, Brandon. His name's Brandon, but he plays a guy called Atlas in the movie. Atlas and Ryle. And then Lily Bloom, who owns a fucking flower shop. Holy shit. The person who wrote this book, dude. It's like fan fiction on steroids. Holy moly. Let's call him Kyle, but put a R instead of a K, so he's Ryle. Atlas. Let's call him Atlas. Bro, what kind of name is that? Moochie? My cat's standing right there. God. What was I saying? I forgot. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a whole convoluted mess, and I think Blake has. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah. I haven't read the book. I haven't seen the movie, so I can only say so much about like what I think of it. But I think for something to look, I think the writer and Blake should have known that if you're going to address something as serious as like domestic violence, you probably had to expect that a lot of people would be very touchy about the subject and the way it was handled and portrayed. And I understand wanting to write a story about this but not have it all be about that, but in some kind of way, we are watching a character go through a very significant part of their life, and it is about that. It's not solely about that. And I don't know, it's like there's this emphasis on like she's more than a victim, she's yada yada yada, and it just makes me think that there's just like a very weird understanding here. I think we've got two different people who wanted to focus on two different things. Blake wanted to focus on a character who's more than a victim, which is like fine. I think a lot of people, when they are victims, do not like to look at themselves as victims because that just becomes their identity. That's fine. But then Justin is like, I really wanted to explore these themes and handle it with care and the complexity of what it is, and hopefully that can change someone's life. And I gotta say, I really liked his things that he had to say about it. God damn. Alright. I think that'll be it for today. We have gone quite over time, but I think that's fine. That's fine. I just really need to pee right now. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna edit the shit out of this, and hopefully you enjoy it. I enjoyed going through it. I think that as a closing statement, I would like to just reiterate, we do not have to attack people's looks. We do not have to attack people's previous work. I mean, like, my god, the intense search for things to criticize about Blake Lively has just become this gigantic monster that has become so like about like the way she looks, and it feels very misogynistic. You know, people are saying that he's such a cool, sexy, handsome man, and then in conjunction calling her like a fucking dry-aged whale or something, and it's like, come on, people. Like, I wish people could look at these comments and see how disgusting they're being. I think that I think it's kind of been blown out of proportion, like, so much. But I do understand that, like, the fact that she had such like a big problem with this Justin guy. Oh my god, hearing about everyone unfollowing him, I know, this is like the most mid-level drama. Ooh, they unfollowed them? And I hate to say it, but it is kind of like, wowzers. It's kind of crazy. The writer and all the fucking actors have unfollowed Justin. Justin's by himself doing these interviews saying like, look, domestic violence is a real thing and it's a real problem and I want to change people's lives with this movie. It's like, it's really hard to see why everyone would hate him so much. It really is hard to see, but you never know. Something might come out later about something or other, and You know, like, I think Blake accused him of being improper when it comes to, like, some of the intimate scenes. That's why she had to be her own no, intimate coordinator. So, look, I'm not saying he's done anything bad because there's nothing that's come out about it. And I think Blake Lively is she's in a strong position in Hollywood. She has a prestige about her and her reputation that I think that if something was to have happened, she would have just come out and said it. Like, she has power. And yeah, I don't know. So I feel like I think it's just creative differences, in my opinion, but I think I just keep thinking, why would the writer of the books side with Blake so strongly to unfollow him, to, I don't know, Colleen Hoover, like, what's that about, girl? What's that about, lady? Anyway, I would also like to end this by saying something else, is that there have been a lot of criticisms of the book series itself, and criticisms on how the books itself kind of handles some of these themes. And look, I just say read the book, watch the movie, figure it out for yourself. If the movie comes out on some streaming platform I'm on, fingers crossed it's not Netflix, I'll probably watch it. I probably will. And then maybe revisit this. I don't know. I'm definitely not going to see it in theaters because I do not care enough. I don't care. But if you've read the book, it seems to me like you might actually enjoy the movie. It might actually be quite honest to the source material, I guess. Yeah. It's pretty wild though, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. It seems like a wild thing that's happening, and it has not blown over yet. It keeps finding momentum. So, yeah. Alright. That's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a very specific thing. And I'll be back next Monday. Thank you for catching up with me, and I hope to see you again. Alright. Goodbye.